Once upon a time, there was a boy named Peter who lived in a small village on the edge of a forest. Peter was a kind and gentle boy, and he loved animals. He would often spend his days exploring the forest, looking for new creatures to meet. One day, Peter was exploring the forest when he came across a small rabbit. The rabbit was injured, and it was clear that it had been hurt by a hunter. Peter took pity on the rabbit, and he brought it home with him to nurse it back to health. Peter named the rabbit Peter Jr., and he took good care of it. He fed it, gave it a place to sleep, and even made a little bed for it out of some soft leaves. Peter Jr. quickly grew to trust Peter, and the two of them became best friends. Peter and Peter Jr. would spend their days playing together in the forest. They would chase each other through the trees, roll around in the grass, and even have picnics together. Peter Jr. was always there to make Peter laugh, and Peter was always there to protect Peter Jr. One day, Peter and Peter Jr. were playing in the forest when they came across a group of hunters. The hunters were setting traps for animals, and Peter knew that Peter Jr. could be in danger. Peter quickly picked up Peter Jr. and ran away from the hunters. The hunters chased Peter and Peter Jr. for a long time, but Peter was able to outrun them. He finally reached his home, and he was safe. Peter Jr. was safe too, and he was grateful to Peter for saving his life. Peter and Peter Jr. continued to be best friends for many years. They had many more adventures together, and they always looked out for each other. Peter Jr. taught Peter a lot about the forest, and Peter taught Peter Jr. about the importance of kindness and compassion. One day, Peter Jr. got very sick. Peter took him to the doctor, but there was nothing that could be done. Peter Jr. died peacefully in Peter's arms. Peter was heartbroken. He had lost his best friend. He buried Peter Jr. in the forest, and he planted a tree over his grave. Peter would often go to the tree to talk to Peter Jr., and he would always remember the good times they had together. Peter grew up to be a kind and compassionate man. He never forgot the lessons that Peter Jr. had taught him, and he always tried to help others. He became a doctor, and he dedicated his life to helping sick animals. Peter never forgot Peter Jr., and he knew that Peter Jr. would always be with him in spirit. He would often think about the adventures they had together, and he would smile. He knew that Peter Jr. was in a better place, and he was happy for him. The end. The moral of the story is that kindness and compassion are important qualities to have. Peter showed kindness to Peter Jr., even though he was a different species. He took Peter Jr. in and nursed him back to health, even though he didn't have to. Peter Jr. taught Peter about the forest, and Peter taught Peter Jr. about kindness and compassion. The story also teaches us that loss is a part of life.